Broadcasting from the OCTV studios, this is From the Third Eye with Hunter Parker, right here on OCTV.
Well, it's that time again. Once again, folks, Hunter Parker here. Welcome to From the Third Eye, the only show where you can hear about technology from a blind person's perspective and more. And the and more part, of course, is the bashing zone, which we have something very interesting for the bashing zone today. So you don't want to miss it. So stay tuned for that. Now, today on the show, I'm going to be talking about a service you can use if you are in the world of online dating or whatever the case may be, and you need a phone number that people can call you on without giving out your real cell phone or landline, for those that still use landlines, that is, phone number. We're going to talk about that today as well. One quick announcement for you. As you may have noticed last time, there was no intro for From the Third Eye. The bashing zone, rather. That is because I decided, instead of making an intro theme and voiceover and whatnot for the bashing zone, it's easier for me to edit the audio without that, where you just see the graphic instead of a special intro for it. I didn't really like how the intro that I made came out anyhow. So to make my life a lot easier, we'll just go right into the bashing zone at the time, and it'll make my life easier editing the audio. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I didn't forget to put it in there. I purposely did that. So there you go with that. Now, let's get into the show. So, what is this service that I'm referring to? Well, it's a service called Tossable Digits. The website, tossabledigits.com. You can get your own local phone number in your area. It's $7 a month for their basic plan. The basic plan gives you 60 minutes of talk time per month. Plus, I believe it's 10 cents additional minutes if you go over. I believe, or it was last time I checked it a while ago. Now, when you sign up with them, you can pick your own phone number. You can also pick a toll-free number if you want as well, if that helps, if you're going to use it for like a business purpose or something. The phone number that you get includes voicemail. You can record your greeting either by phone or emailing them an MP3 file, and they can upload it for you. You can check your messages either on the web, on the phone, or you can also check your messages through your email. You can get your voicemails attached as an MP3 to your email if you want as well. Of course, you can change that setting later. As well as you can also call people back from your Tossable Digits phone number, either through the phone or online. Now, you can keep the number as long as you'd like. So if let's say we'll use online dating as an example. If you're online dating and you're meeting somebody and you want to give them your phone number but don't want them to have your real phone number, you can give them your Tossable Digits number. It works just as a real phone number does. Like I said, it has voicemail and all that kind of stuff. What it does is it forwards the calls to your actual phone number. So what I do when I've used them before, what I do is I set the setting in the configuration so when somebody calls my Tossable Digits phone number, on my phone, it pops up my Tossable Digits phone number instead of the person's caller ID. That way, I know somebody's calling me on my Tossable Digits number, not my cell phone. You can do either or. You can change that in your settings if you'd like. I find that easier because you can differentiate the two. Um, so there you go with that. So it's a really neat service. They offer great customer support. If you need any help, you can send them an email through their ticketing system, and they'll be happy to help. So it's a good way to hide your phone number from the public that you don't want to have it. And that way, let's say if you are online dating and you're talking for a while, and sure, you probably will run over your minutes. They do have higher plans available you can pick from that gives you more minutes than 60. So you can browse through those if you'd like. See which one fits your budget. Um, but once you're done with the number, you can cancel it and the number's gone, and just like that. So you can keep it as long as you wait, as long as you like, rather, and you can destroy it later when you don't need it anymore. So let's say you're talking to someone for a while and you're comfortable giving them your real phone number. You won't need the Tossable Digits number anymore, so you can throw that out, and there you go. Problem solved. It's a good way to do it. I wish I would have done that when I was online dating back in the day, but I never did. I would usually just talk to them on whatever site I was using, and then I would give them my number when I was comfortable. So that's just my preference. But Tossable Digits is a great way to share your number if you're selling something or online dating or whatever the case may be, because you can keep it as long as you'd like and then cancel it when you don't want it anymore. So that's Tossable Digits. The website again is tossabledigits.com. Now, let's move on to the segment that I'm excited about today, because I am going to talk about somebody that really should be talked about today. And that's, of course, right now on the Bashing Zone. So, on the Bashing Zone today, we're going to talk about my wife's doctor. Well, former doctor. Because her doctor is no longer her doctor because she switched her primary care physician recently. And she sees her new doctor, which is my doctor as well, in September. Now, I want to bring up ahead of time, just so you guys know, I am starting my own personal show away from OCTV called The Hunter Radio Show, which mostly is basically the Bashing Zone, but uncensored. The reason I didn't call it the Bashing Zone is because Alta Vista, I think I mentioned this before, Alta Vista, their AI system doesn't like the word bashing, so it denies the account when I go to create it. So I decided to change the name so that way it would work. I mean, I could have emailed their support and let them know that it's not a malicious site that I'm creating, and they would have approved it no problem, but I figured it would just be easier just to create the account again with a different name. So I decided to call it the Hunter Radio Show, which Joe, our wonderful producer over here, was telling me that it actually fits, because if I'm bashing people and I call it the Hunter Radio Show and I don't put my last name in the title, that means I'm hunting down people that need to be talked about. So in a way, it works. So I kind of like that name. So that show, well, by the time this is posted on Friday the 16th, my show will already be posted as well, episode 1. But as of this recording, which is being recorded on Tuesday, August 13th, I haven't done my show yet. I'll be recording my show probably later on tonight. My plan is to record the show on Tuesdays and have the show published on Fridays, like this show is. The only difference is my show will be weekly. This one is not. So check that out. I'll give you the website at the end of the show, since I don't have a whole lot to give on this show anymore with the website being gone for credits. So I'll make sure you guys get the website for the show at the end before we close. So what I'm going to talk about today on the Bashing Zone about my wife's former doctor will be much more elaborate on my show, and you'll hear F-bombs and all kinds of interesting stuff, which I'm sure Joe is on the edge of his seat on that one, because he's going to just be all over F this, F that, and you mother effers and all that kind of stuff, because that's what the show is. There's no limits. There's nothing. Now, mind you, I'll mention real quick that my show is not all bashing. If you go to the website, there's a spot on there you can apply to be a guest on the show. Now, if you're a guest on the show, you can bash if you'd like, or you can use that time to talk about whatever you want. If you want to share a recipe, you can. If you want to talk about technology, you can. If you want to promote your business or product or service, if you have one, you can. Whatever you want to talk about, you can do so. And I use a conference calling service to record you, because that's easier than trying to record you on the computer. So keep that in mind, that you can apply to be a guest on the show and talk about whatever you'd like as well. And kind of makes it a little bit more entertaining to have other people on the show too. So that includes bashing. If you want to bash something or someone or whatever for the show, you're more than welcome to come on the air and do it. So keep that in mind as well. But like I said, I'll give you the website at the end of the show. Now, why am I bashing my wife's former doctor? Well, he, in my opinion, isn't even qualified to be a doctor. I don't even think the man should have a medical license. I say that because she's been dealing with a lot of health issues lately. Some issues that are not quite, we don't have any answers for a lot of these things that are going on. And what was the last straw was last Wednesday, she went to the doctors. Her mom took her to the doctors. I went with her and went in there. Nurse comes in, does their vitals and whatever that they usually do, you know. And doctor comes in and he goes, "Hi, Hannah. How can I help you today?" That's strike one. You don't say, "How can I help you today?" What do you think this is, a grocery store? I mean, come on, just say, "So I heard you're having some health concerns. What are your concerns? What's bothering you?" You can say that, but not, "How can I help you today?" So then she's explaining the symptoms to him, and he's listening and everything, which is good. And she mentioned about these lumps that she has that might be cancerous, might not be cancerous. We don't know for sure. And he goes, "Oh, those are nothing to worry about." And I looked at that doctor and I spoke up and I said, "What do you mean those are nothing to worry about? How do you know for sure? You've never tested them. You can't just say there's nothing to worry about if you don't test them and do a biopsy of these lumps that she has that are getting bigger." You can't just assume it's some skin condition called HS, which is what he said is what it was. And he goes, well, I don't believe it's anything to worry about. And I said, again, doctor, I said, you don't know for sure because you haven't tested the lumps that she has. And I said, and I think that's pretty stupid that you're not even going to send her to a dermatologist to test those lumps, as since obviously that's not your specialty. So you have to send her to a dermatologist to get that done. My wife did convince him to refer her to a dermatologist that she was recommended by a friend of hers who was supposed to be a really good doctor. And he finally agreed to refer her to that dermatologist that she wanted, which she has an appointment with her on September 3rd. And she's already excited because one of the things they're going to do when she's there is a complete body exam. Everything from her head to her private area, her ankles, everywhere. And they're going to check everything to make sure she's going to be okay. And they might even biopsy those lumps while she's there as well, which is what we were hoping for. So after that, when he looked at the lumps, but he didn't touch them, he didn't do anything. It's like he's afraid to touch a girl or something. I mean, you're a doctor, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be able to touch them to feel what the lump feels like so you can get an idea of what you're working with, not just look at her. So after that appointment, my wife, Hannah, had enough. And she went online to her Medicaid and changed her primary care doctor to my doctor. That took effect online. It was pretty easy. She didn't have to call them. She could do it right on the website. She called, made an appointment. She has an appointment mid-September to see him. She's met him once with me. Usually she's been to my appointments once or twice, I think. Usually I just go on my own, but she's been a couple times, so she's met him a couple times. And she's really excited because my doctor at least listens to people and doesn't judge them and basically say, oh, well, the reason you're having shortness of breath is because you're fat. Basically, you need to lose 100 pounds. I mean, that's what some of our doctors have said. Oh, well, you're having shortness of breath because you're fat and you're overweight, so you need to lose 100 pounds and you'll feel better. Who the heck says that? Who says you're fat? That's not even cool. You can't say that. I mean, I guess you can, but that's wrong. You can't say somebody's fat. Sure, she's a little overweight. Okay, great. Who cares? It's not her fault. She has a medical condition called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which can cause you to gain weight. I should know. My mother had it. And she was kind of overweight for the longest time until the last couple of years of her life. And then she lost a bunch of weight and was as thin as a skateboard before she died. Before that, she was pretty overweight herself. I mean, not 300 pounds, but she was up there because of the PCOS. So I am so glad that she got rid of her doctor. Because, and another reason she got rid of the doctor was because he was in Farmington, which is quite a ways from where we live in Holly, like 45 minutes, where my doctor's office in Clarkston is only like 12 minutes. So it's closer. So she's really excited that she has a new doctor now. And I'm excited because I know that my doctor will take good care of her. And if he doesn't, then him and I are going to have some words, I'm sure. But I shouldn't have to worry about that because he's taking care of me, and I don't have as many health issues as she does. I only go to see him for small things, like maybe trouble sleeping or whatever the case is. So there you go with that. That's the bashing zone for today. You can hear more about her doctor, where I can go off on him even more than I can on here, on the Hunter Radio Show starting this week. Like I said, I'm going to be recording the first episode tonight as of this recording. So by the time this episode gets published on Friday, the 16th, my show will be published on the same day. So check that out. The website, hunterradio.altervista.org, hunterradio.altervista.org is the website. Check it out. It's there. You can apply to be on the show if you want to be a guest. No pressure. You don't have to, of course, but you are more than welcome. We have a announcements mailing list you can subscribe to receive emails from me when I release new episodes. So check that out. We also have the official Hunter Radio Show community where you can join our message boards, where you can either join the main board where you can have general conversations with others about whatever you want, or you can join the bashing board where you can bash until you can't bash anymore on the board. We use a service called Momo Board, so make sure you set up an account with them before you join the board, as you're required to have an account with them. Only takes 2 seconds. Just ask for a name, email, and a password. Once you're signed up with them and you confirm your email and whatever, you can join the board. So check that out. That might be something that will I might change in the future, where it'll be completely separate. So we'll see how that goes, but there you go with that. That's going to do it for the show for this time around. We'll be back in a couple weeks, of course, as usual, for another edition of the show. Episode 10 will be coming in 2 weeks. This is episode 9 already. Holy crap. You can find us on Spotify, and right now, at least, we're still waiting on Amazon and Apple, so you can definitely find us on Spotify. Just search for From the Third Eye and you should find it. You can also find us, if you would like, on the OCTV YouTube channel. Just search for Oxford Community Television on YouTube. You can find From the Third Eye there. Every episode is there as well. So with all that said, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for all your support. I'll see you on the Hunter Radio Show this week, and I'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody.